Hi, dear students. Let's talk about planning. So, planning is the first one when it comes to management functions. First one is planning, second one is organizing, third one is staffing, fourth one is leading, and fifth one is controlling. It should be noted that in planning, decision making is required. So, or in easy words, you can say that for planning, decision making process is basically acting as a backbone. Planning is to decide in advance what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who is to do it. Or, in other words, you can say that planning is basically providing us method for identifying our objectives. And then we will be definitely designing sequence of programs and activities and tasks to achieve those objectives or organizational goals. So in ancient times, before going into the battle, it's very important for the commander, leader, or generals to make proper calculations and make a proper plan, uh, because your win or loss is kind of dependent on your planning. In the previous slide, here you can also add that when it must be done and how much will be the cost and what do we need to, or you can say what do we need to do it, like what is that we want to achieve. So you need to decide that in advance, and the key point here is, which I'm making, that this is basically a decision making process. So it is probably the most important of the identified managerial functions. It focuses you on how best to achieve the desired results. So thus without it, organizing, leading, staffing, controlling have little purpose. So the first one and extremely important one is planning. Here is a framework explaining the planning process. So this framework is basically explaining you the general logic in this decision making process or planning. So first, definitely recognize the problem or opportunities, or find out those areas where you can improve. So, and then you need to define problem and define the environment, define your constraints, and they are basically here your overall mission, long range objectives and strategies. A lot of people can say that it is very difficult to solve a problem until it is recognized. Or you can say, in addition, you can say that opportunity often go unrecognized. So it's extremely important to invest some time on recognition of problem and opportunities or look for areas where you can improve. Right, once this has been done after, then second one would be to define problems and your constraints, your premises. Uh, or so from premises I mean environment, right? Then you need to collect information about each alternative. Let's say if you are buying a car, let's for example, so then you need to collect information about cars of various brands, that about safety, style, fuel consumption, maintenance cost, initial cost, stuff like this. Then you need to formulate a model which, or a decision support system, which is basically helping you in decision making analysis. And after you put in the data in put in data which was collected here in this model, then you're gonna come up with different alternatives. From alternatives I mean different options, and then you choose the alternative which is feasible for you, or you can say evaluate that alternative. If you are like if you like alternative, then it's a very good idea to implement that alternative. And once you implement it, now this step here, follow up and review effectiveness. Now this is very very important, because you need to keep an eye that the new system or the or part which you chosen, right, or the alternative which you chosen, is it working properly or not? If not, then you need to go to this step again here. So this is extremely important. This is an iterative process, and then if it is not working, then you should definitely revisit this decision making process. So regarding the foundation for planning, you need to identify very clearly what is the problem or purpose. You need to establish goals and objectives. What client need is being satisfied by this particular project or this particular decision making process, and then you need to identify success criteria. So the foundation for planning, you can say mission, purpose or goal, right? Third one is objectives, and fourth one is strategies. It must be noted that the four important points which I mentioned, mission, purpose, which is goal, right? Third one is objective, fourth one strategies. They should be customer driven. So from customer driven I mean that you are taking care of customer in foundation for planning, or you are incorporating needs of customer, and basically you're attempting to rectify or solve their problems. A vision statement describes in graphical terms where the goal setter want to position themselves in future, or what you want to do in future. If you don't have a vision, then it's very difficult for your company uh, to thrive. Your company might suffer economic losses. A case in point, or for example, in Vietnam War, uh, the US Army failed miserably, and the reason was that 70% of them were unaware that what they are basically trying to achieve, they had no vision. As an, if you are working in industry, it is very likely that your vision might be, okay, after 10 or 20 years I want my industry to be the best industry in this particular economic region. um, a Microsoft vision could be a personal computer on every desk, and every computer is running Microsoftware only. So that could be like a vision. Mission, which is basically the first step in planning process, and in easy words you can say mission statement is basically what do we want to do. uh, Mission statement, I agree, or we agree that it resembles a vision statement. However, mission statement has a more immediate business focus with the time horizon. However, vision statement is like you are more interested what to achieve in future. So a mission statement, let's say if you have a food service or restaurant, something like this, so your mission statement could be to deliver excellence in food service while providing a menu focused on exceptional quality. Let's say if you're running McDonald's or KFC or something like this. uh, Regarding strategic planning, so a strategic plan is basically suggesting you ways, or from that ways I mean strategies to identify and to move toward desired future states. Or you can also say that the strategic planning is basically helping me how to move from point A to point B, right? And then this strategic planning process consists of the process of developing and implementing plans to reach goals and objectives. And this strategic planning is basically encapsulating uh, both your mission and vision statements, that how you want to move from your current scenario to some future state. So if you want to move from this particular point to some future state, you will be needing strategic plans. Goals are the aims or endpoints toward which activity is directed to accomplish the mission of an organization. And then goal statement is comprised of why, what do we do, for whom do we do it. And goal statement is giving you purpose and direction. A lot of students might ask that what is the difference between goals and objectives? So objectives are more detailed statement, of goals. And when you are saying that, when your goals are kind of clarified, then you can say, okay, that they are our objectives. Here, Peter Drucker's objectives for organizational survivor are listed, and they are market share, innovation, productivity, physical and financial resources, managerial performance and development, worker performance and attitude, profitability, and social responsibility. Management by objectives is commonly referred to as MBO. So in that, develop work assignments based on organizational needs and objectives. As we know that organizational needs or objectives are different from industry to industry or organization to organization. Plans are agreed between manager and subordinates, and they or both parties need to have an understanding of the goals. Objectives should not be stretched beyond the limits. So, for example, if I am asking my workers to work for 20 hours a day in order to achieve some production level or output level, then it's not gonna work, because working 20 hours a day is improbable or almost impossible for a human body. Objectives should be quantifiable. So let's say you can say, okay, if there is a profit, so I'm gonna give 5% to my workers, or our objective is to reduce the scrap by 10%, 5%, or 20%, or at least there should be some written policy. Needed resources should be determined and agreed to, that how much material I will be, or a particular department will be needing to produce some output. And then plans should include employee development as well, that you are sending them for training or providing them for training, some bonuses. Plans are for a 6 month to 1 year time span. One approach that corporations use in strategic planning is to identify the business they are in. And in addition to that, they need to identify the businesses in which they want to be in future, and to define a strategy for getting from the first set to the second one. One tool for doing this is deploying or using business portfolio matrix, which divides the business a company is in into four types based on market share and market growth. The BCG, Boston Consulting Group growth share matrix displays the various business units on a graph of the market growth rate versus the market share relative to the competitors. So here I have four things: stars, cash cow, question marks, and dogs. um, on y-axis I have market growth rate, and over here I have relative market share. So here cash cows are the one when you have a large share of market that has a little future, and then you want to milk the profit from these cash cows and invest them into stars. Stars are, if you have a large share of fast growing market, the star basically will bring money very quickly. Question marks, that you are not sure that whether if I invest in that, what's gonna be the outcome. However, you definitely want to invest in question marks, because who knows what if they are stars of the future. And dogs are basically, if you have only a small share of slow growing market, you need to eliminate these dogs. Basically, they are not bringing any profit or something. So cash cows are bringing profit at a good rate, and chances are that they will be obsolete. Stars, like, demand is very high, people are buying this product, so you need to produce stars and use this cash cow money to invest in these stars, right? And also in question mark, because what if these question mark product they become stars? If you have dog in that, then you need to get rid of this as soon as possible. Giving you example of Apple company, right? iPhones and iPads, they are stars, because as soon as a newer version is launched, you have to wait for a few days in order to get it, because everybody wants to get iPad or iPhone. Second one is cash cow, Mac notebooks. Like, there is a constant demand for it, and people are constantly buying MacBooks. Question marks such as Apple Watch. So you would like to invest in Apple Watch or Apple TV. The money which you are getting from cash cows here, it's a very good idea to invest it in this, or here Apple Watch or Apple TV. They can either become stars or they can become dogs. And if they're dogs, then you need to eliminate it, get rid of that. iPods. So it's like not a very famous product of um, Apple company. Second one here is Coca-Cola products. So Maza orange juice, that is giving you high profit. Traditional Coke is bringing a lot of profit every month, but this is like star here. Coca-Cola company would like to invest in Fanta and Sprite, and because they might become stars someday. However, Diet Coke, the demand is not that very high. So if you are working or owner of a Coca-Cola company, it's a good idea to not invest too much in Diet Coke. So this is the product life cycle. Initial is the question mark. It is into the introduction phase, and then there will be some growth when it reaches the maturity level, and then it will be a decline because customer will be looking for something new. So this is what generally product life cycle of a product looks like.